afternoon. An unusual Phoenix police raid this morning. An operation taking place in the homeless encampment near downtown Phoenix known as the Zone.
Yeah, Phoenix police taking in 9 people into custody, and they say this is all part of a larger operation that they've launched in the area. Now, Linda Williams is live with an update on this. Linda, Phoenix, the city anyways, is required to get a handle on this area. What can you tell us?
Yeah, the city of Phoenix definitely under pressure. Now, just between 7 and 8 o'clock this morning, we're told that's when Phoenix police came to the area of 9th Avenue and Jackson, here in the area known as the Zone in downtown Phoenix. A lieutenant with Phoenix police telling us this was a culmination of several weeks of work being done by Phoenix PD in a crime suppression program. Now, take a look. We did see some arrests being made as a result of 3 search warrants served simultaneously by Phoenix police this morning. Now, those warrants were served on 3 tents, we're assuming. Police referred to them as temporary structures. We're thinking that they were some kind of tents or structure that was put together or built down here in the Zone. Phoenix police say they've been working this from several angles for several weeks now, and they've used undercover operations, among other things, to focus in on certain people.
Obviously, we have a lot of issues that we're dealing with down here in and around the shelter area. And so we put together a crime suppression program to try to root out the main offenders down here that are victimizing the individuals out here experiencing homelessness. There's been a lot of fentanyl deaths, fentanyl cells. These are the ones that are coming in and they're victimizing people, and they're distributing drugs to the entire community down here. They're pushing guns down here. Right during this operation, we've taken off multiple firearms.
Lieutenant Cedar with Phoenix PD says they did take all 9 of the people they were seeking into custody. Now, all of this, of course, as we said, coming ahead of the city of Phoenix launching another round of its Clean the Streets program here in the Zone. The city under pressure after a judge said they are now required to fix up and clear out this area. The lieutenant said that it's so far been a successful operation, but you can expect to see some more of these search warrants served and these operations going forward. We'll have more on this. Of course, we'll get reaction from the community, both homeless and some of the businesses in the area tonight at 5 and 6. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Linda Williams, Fox 10 News.
All right, Linda.
Another week wrapping up in the Lori Vallow murder trial in Idaho today. For the first time, we're hearing 911 calls connected to one of the 3 victims, Tammy Daybell.
She was married to Chad Daybell, the Idaho man charged along with Lori Vallow in the murders of Lori's 2 kids and Chad's late wife. Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum joins us live with the new evidence revealed today.
John, Christina, this is the first time we hear the voice of Tammy Daybell and newly released 911 calls as well. Remember, Lori Vallow left Arizona to move to Idaho so she could be closer to Chad Daybell. And 10 days after his wife reported being shot at, she suddenly died.
Left into our driveway, and I was getting stuff out of the back seat of my car, and suddenly he was there, and he had a paintball gun, and he was aiming, and like he was going to shoot at me.
Tammy Daybell calling 911 on the night of October 9th, 2019. She thought someone tried to shoot her with a paintball gun, but investigators believe Lori Vallow's late brother Alex Cox is the gunman who tried to shoot and kill Tammy. At the time, prosecutors say Lori and Tammy's husband, Chad Daybell, were in the midst of an affair. 10 days later, another call to 911.
Hello, I'm Chad, the husband. She's clearly dead. Oh, no. Yeah, she's not even, she's frozen.
Tammy's sister, Samantha Gwilliam, testified in court, saying Chad told her Tammy died in her sleep after having a coughing fit that night. But Samantha had seen her sister just 2 weeks earlier.
Tammy looked very healthy and was doing very well.
The Fremont County coroner also took the stand. Brenda Dye told the prosecution Tammy's death did not seem suspicious and Chad did not want an autopsy. He had his wife buried at a cemetery in Utah 4 hours away just 3 days later.
I asked him on a phone call of why we were, doing things so quickly. And he told me that he thought that's what Tammy would have wanted, was to not have all the fuss.
Tammy's body was exhumed in December of 2019. By then, Chad and Lori were married as authorities searched for Lori's kids, JJ and Tylee, until finding their remains several months later on the Daybell property. The Utah medical examiner has since determined Tammy died of asphyxiation. And we have full audio of today's testimonies on our Fox 10 Phoenix YouTube channel. Meanwhile, the jury gets a break after 10 witnesses took the stand today. Live in the control room, Justin Lum, Fox 10 News.
You, sir, are here on one count of a murder in the first degree, premeditated. That is a felony, class 1 felony.
Tonight, Fox 10 exclusive video as police arrest the man that they say killed a gas station employee in a particularly heinous manner in Glendale.
20-year-old Mohammed Hussein Ati just making his initial appearance before a judge on first-degree murder charges. Police say he targeted Irma Rivera Martinez, shooting her at least 10 times.
Fox 10's Lauren Clark joins us live now in Avondale. Lauren, you spoke to the suspect's mom?
Yeah, that's right, John and Christina. It was a very brief encounter. Opening the door, she just started sobbing and did not want to talk with us any further. And it was around this time last night when police arrested Atai near this neighborhood in a home that he lives in with his parents. But right now, Irma's family still says they have more questions than they have answers.
Exclusive video shows the moment leading up to the arrest. About a dozen SWAT members gather outside the house as neighbors, too afraid to speak to cameras, say they heard police tell someone to come out with their hands up. Hours later in Glendale,
we are here to announce an arrest in the murder of Irma Rivera Martinez.
Glendale police sharing the news.
This was a heinous, vicious murder.
With detectives saying this man, 20-year-old Mohammed Hussein Atai, was responsible for the brutal attack.
We do believe it was specifically targeted.
Newly released surveillance video shows a hooded figure entering the Chevron off 51st Avenue and Glendale Avenue Friday. Police say the attack was quick and brutal, with the suspect ignoring another employee inside and shooting Irma at least 10 times at close range. Around a minute later, the person is seen running out of the store. Police say surveillance video helped connect them to Atai's car, and while serving a search warrant, also found evidence like the distinctive shoes spotted on camera. Irma's cousin Angel says her family is relieved.
Now that they're caught, we were just left with so many questions about why he did it, what the motive was. Nobody knows who this person is, so we don't even think she would have known who he was, so why target her?
As detectives are still trying to piece together a motive, her loved ones say they're looking forward to justice.
He should have seen that somebody so young and so close to your age as him should have had so much more to live. So if he wanted to send it away for himself, then he should be behind bars for the rest of his life.
And Atai is being held on a $1 million secure bond. His next hearing is set for May 4th. Reporting in Avondale, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
A Valley man is in the hospital after police say he was shot by his wife.
This all happened at their home in Buckeye, and police say 2 kids were home at the time. Fox 10's Lindsay Regis joins us live from the scene with what we're learning about this. Lindsay.
Yeah, guys, this has been an active scene for about 5 hours now. Police are still on scene. We're learning this all started because of an argument. Residents on Westcliff Court say this is known as a quiet, family-friendly neighborhood.
I was driving home and I noticed the helicopter over the freeway. And as I got closer, that helicopter was like circling around my neighborhood.
To later find out there was a shooting inside their neighbor's home.
I saw police cars exiting my street, and then I turned down my street and my whole street's blocked off.
Buckeye police received a call from the victim just after 10 a.m.
Officers at the time received information from a male reporting that his wife had shot him.
Police say the wife, who is accused of shooting her husband with a handgun, is in her 30s.
Officers arrived here on scene to find a male in his 30s with multiple gunshot wounds.
The husband is in stable condition and is expected to survive. Nobody else was injured and the wife didn't leave the scene, but there were more people inside the home.
Our understanding is that 2 children were inside the home at the time, so DCS has been contacted.
All this information is coming as a surprise to neighbors in the area.
So quiet, so peaceful. Children play in the park. We're a mixture of ages here.
Police have spoken with the wife and they are still trying to determine her motive. Her name hasn't been released and she has not been arrested at this point. Reporting live, Lindsay Regis, Fox 10 News.
New details on an assault at Sky Harbor Airport yesterday. A woman from Arkansas arrested after police say that she attacked TSA officers. Now, court documents say 19-year-old Micaiah Coleman was at the checkpoint in Terminal 4 when she got upset because an agent took her apple juice. Coleman is accused of going around a barrier at that point, climbing on a table and hitting a TSA agent on the head and then ripping his shirt. The paperwork further says that he finally was able to get her down. Well, then she takes off her shirt and starts yelling again. She approaches another TSA agent, screening her items, jumps back on that table and pulls the agent's ponytail and begins hitting her. Coleman is also accused of biting a third agent who tried to intervene. Now she's facing 1 felony and 4 misdemeanor counts. In court, she asked a judge about paying bond, which was set at $4,500.
Okay. So I would have to stay in here until my court date?
Correct. If you don't post bond, then you'll remain in custody until May 1st.
Okay. I'm pregnant, sir. Is there anything else I could?
So we do have medical staff here.
Is there any way I can make a phone call tonight?
Yeah, there will be phones available to you.
Coleman was told, she told police, that is, that she was angry about the apple juice and that an agent hung up her phone. She said she kind of blacked out and vaguely remembers even hitting the agent.